Hey gang, welcome to the first true installment of my series on the work of Joss Whedon, who is a writer, producer, and director. He is the screenwriter and director of The Avengers, and so I've decided to dedicate the next few weeks to doing videos about the stuff that he's done. First, I'd like to talk about the film that kind of first got him attention from pretty much anybody, and that was the screenplay he wrote for the film Buffy the Vampire Slayer. Now, unlike a lot of the film work that he did in the years since, this is one of the only original scripts that he has produced as far as just it being his own idea. He came up with a concept and he wrote the script, sold it to 20th Century Fox, and the film was directed by Fran Rubel Kuzui. It ended up being cast with Kristy Swanson as the main character, Buffy Summers, who is a kind of vapid valley girl type living in Los Angeles, who finds out that she is the latest in a long line of girls who are gifted with strength and the ability to extra strength and the ability to hunt and destroy vampires in the town that she lives in, including Rutger, Hauer, and Paul Rubens, who are a couple of key vampires here. She has a watcher, a guy whose duty it is to train her and prepare her for the fight, and that character is played by Donald Sutherland in this film. There's also a love interest character whose name is Pike, played by Luke Perry, who of course had been on the show Beverly Hills 90210 the past couple of years, and so he was a very in-demand heartthrob type. And a bunch of other interesting character actors in this movie as well. David Arquette, one of the first movies he was in. Hilary Swank is in this movie. She's totally unrecognizable. She plays another one of the Valley Girls. It's funny, this movie, although it was released in '92, really feels like an '80s movie, you know? Just the whole Valley Girl theme, the fact that, you know, it's a comedy that's kind of, you know, all the lighting is pretty cheesy. You know, it's generally a pretty cheesy movie, and not one that I would recommend. Joss has gone on record as saying that he isn't really pleased with how the film turned out. He thought it was a little bit too comical. He wanted it to be actually scary in parts. And he really got a chance to make the story and characters what they ought to have been, what he wanted them to be when he developed it as a TV series that started airing in 1997. I rewatched this movie recently, and some of the Joss Whedon humor really comes through clearly in some parts. Paul Rubens is one of the vampires. He gets his arm cut off in one scene, and he says to his vamp cronies, he points to the guy who was responsible, tells his vamp cronies, "He just ruined my new jacket. Kill him a lot." And that line is I don't know, sort of referenced, I guess, in the season finale of the 5th season of Buffy, the TV series. There's a scene later on where Kristy Swanson is confronting Paul Rubens, and he's telling him, "Buffy, you don't know what it's like to be a vampire. We're immortal. We can do anything." And she says, "Oh yeah? Clap!" And of course he can't, because he's only got one arm. So yeah, there are some good moments in the movie. Apparently Donald Sutherland, being the respected veteran actor that he was, decided that he was going to rewrite or rephrase a lot of his dialogue, and Joss didn't like that at all because he'd written these lines a certain way, but no one wanted to say no to him because he's Donald Sutherland. I really like Donald Sutherland a lot, but I'm a little peeved that he decided to do that. That's unfortunate. Ben Affleck has a tiny little part in this movie. Ricki Lake has a tiny little part. She doesn't get credit, neither does Ben Affleck. And, believe it or not, Seth Green, who went on to play Oz in the TV series, is also basically like a vampire extra. Just one of those guys hanging around going, ah, you know, threatening people. I didn't even notice him. I looked up the cast on IMDb. He's on there, but I didn't notice him in the movie. Like I said, David Arquette is in this movie. He's a friend of Luke Perry's who gets turned into a vampire. He has a lot of good moments. David Arquette's a fun guy. Who else is in this movie? Hilary Swank, of course, yeah. Yeah, it's a fun cast. And actually there was a lot of buzz around the movie when it first came out, because everyone was like, look at this cast. It's so eclectic. What's going on with this movie? And it just kind of turned out to be something really cheesy and overly broad, I guess you could say. You know, not a lot of really scary effects. You know, it's all pretty rote. Yeah, there's a few good moments in it, but not really one of the highlights of his career. However, of course, it is, you know, the thing that got him prompted into doing television, because he wanted to take that character. He wanted to create a good female role model, I guess you could say, which is why he created in the first place. There's a couple other original scripts that he did called Suspension and Goners that never really got made. I think he sold them, but they never got produced in any particular way. But in the next video I'm going to talk about projects that he worked on in film that didn't start with him, he got hired on to either write a script or rewrite a script, or in some cases actually just rewrite new dialogue after the film had actually been shot. That'll be in the next video that I post Monday of next week, so I hope you'll tune in for that. Just the whole Joss Whedon Love Fest will continue as I do the Jossies, as I call them, up until both The Cabin in the Woods comes out in April. That'll be very, very soon. That'll be like next week, actually. That'll be like 1 week from tomorrow. That's something, I believe. And then, of course, The Avengers at the beginning of May. So, really looking forward to that. And I'll also be talking about his TV series as well. So, thanks for watching, guys. See you again soon. Bye.